find some sort of harmony and balance.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is BC. I'm going to cover today with my trusty notes here on the yellow pad, three categories, right? That if you focus on these and you master these, you are guaranteed success in real estate moving forward, 2023 and beyond. We know the market has changed. We know the dynamic in real estate has changed. Technology has come in, and there's so many beautiful things about the business. It's forced us to step up, right? Because Zillow.com, realtor.com, accessibility of information, and we're moving more from the information age down to the communication age. And I've told people the ones who have the keys, the ones who are really going to have success, are going to be the biggest and best communicators out there who can communicate the message, deliver the message, and do it is that they need to do to grow their brand and attract people, but the means of it is going to be through communication. Marketing is communication, right? Sales skills are communication. So everything is really predicated on that, and that's why I love that I've always built my foundation on that, because I know I'm always going to be able to make money, always be able to make sales and find customers. I mean, that's just the nature of the game, right? And that's why I keep focusing on it among many other things, because it's one of those things that makes you invincible to market change, economy change, and all this stuff, because you have a skill set that is rare and that is top notch, right? But anyways, let's get into these main three categories, right? I'll name them and then we'll go through them. Traditional, social, agent attraction, right? Those are the main three that I'm going to cover today that we really need to focus on, and that, again, virtually guarantee your success in the business. So when I say traditional, what are we talking about here? Well, traditional, I wrote down three words: foundation, system, skills. Okay? The traditional stuff, I don't care if AI and chat GPT and all this stuff is out, the human element is never going to be lost. But aside from that, the real estate game itself, right? And this is applicable across the board, but just real estate itself, the traditional stuff of how to run a business, right? The intricacies and the inside of your business, the systems that you put in place, and then the skills, which I brought up a little bit in the beginning, right? Those things are always going to be present. Right? You can have all this fancy stuff on the front end, the chat GPT, the AI, this lead generation funnel system that I'm spending like, $100,000 on, and all this other stuff. But if you don't have some of the basics in place, like systems as an example, all that stuff is going to be flushed down the drain, and you're going to waste a lot of money, be stressed, and never build a business because it doesn't have a foundation. You'll have no consistency, and you're not going to be able to master the real estate game because you want to skip the traditional stuff, say it doesn't work, or overlook it completely. And you have to understand that these things need to be set in place, right? The first thing I do with realtors, especially my students, is make sure we continuously on a daily basis work on their skills, give them the baseline systems and foundation that they need. That way, when they build off that, they're building off a solid, rock solid foundation and not quicksand. Everybody wants to skip that stuff because it's boring. Not put in the work, not put in SOPs, not put in standards. Then they wonder why they're running around like a chicken with their head cut off. And when they get a lead, they don't know what to do with it. They don't even know what the definition of a lead is. If the person says they're not going to do something today, but they will in 6 months or a month or 3 weeks, like they don't know where to put them. And now they're lost in space because they don't have the traditional stuff set. Okay, so make sure that you're getting the traditional stuff. The beauty of today is you can find a ton of information online, right? The best thing I'd recommend is you plug into one system and just duplicate everything they teach you. So as an example, a student comes into my coaching, they're given everything, the scripts, dialogues, all the, you're told what to do, how to build your schedule, your business plan. So you have a one-stop shop where you set it, right? So whatever it is, pick something and run with it and apply it. And this one will be checked off. Of course, some of it you're going to get from experience, but once you have that foundation set, it's easier later on for you to grow. Otherwise, you're going to have holes in your business, and it's going to be leaking, and it's going to be very difficult for you to be consistent and build momentum. And we know, especially in the beginning, the pressure's on, right? You have to make some money, you have to get some cash flow, and if you don't, you can be out of this business quicker than some people, right? The average person in real estate fails within a year. 2 max, 80-90% of the people who got licensed are out of the business. It's crazy, all right? Number 2, I said social, which is basically social media. Now, the 3 kind of headlines I put for this is attraction, meaning I now become a magnet to attract people, customers, eyeballs, and business. Number two, you have the potential for explosive growth because you never know. You could maybe be doing property tours and now your videos go viral. You could suddenly get pushed in the algorithm. You could suddenly build a really strong presence locally because certain things start moving and you build up all this momentum with SEO and all that. So there's always potential for explosive growth like I had on social media, right? And then your brand and your reputation, right? You social proof yourself. It's like your online resume, right? And if you don't have it, it's a bad thing now. It wasn't before, it is now. But I can further solidify myself in a community, in a space, because I have a social media presence. People are following it, people tune into it, I'm consistent, and it's something that's there that's real. So when I say attraction, putting in work on social media like I did for years eventually builds up an empire for you. You don't need millions of subscribers. I mean, look at me. I've been shunned and deplatformed and censored, and I still have a strong brand because of what I've done over the past 10 years. Right? And I've been censored for well over 3.5 years now at this point. I mean, it's crazy. So understand that when you put in the time and you build it, like I said, it's your resume, and you'll start to attract customers, eyeballs, a following, and from there, there's so much you can do with it. But if we're gonna focus in specifically on your real estate business, it builds trust, it builds credibility, people can reach out to you, right? If you set it up properly, people can come in and with a lead magnet, maybe fill in their information. You can set up a strategy call through a Calendly link so you can connect with potential customers. You can create a referral network with your business if you connect with people correctly on social media. I mean, there's just so much, but again, the whole point of this first section is you're attracting, right? And it's free. You can't just do this on the street. Well, you could, I guess, but it wouldn't be as effective. This attracts people worldwide, which is really cool, okay? Second part is the potential for explosive growth. Now, if you do things correctly, you're still gonna grow, but there's always that odd chance and it goes up, meaning it increases over time if you keep doing what you're supposed to do. After 2 years, I only had 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That next year, I jumped from like 1,000 to I think 20 or 30,000 because of collaborations and just I happened to go into the algorithm. A few of my videos blew up over the next couple years and it just took off. Like I still have 2 or 3 videos on my channel, I think with over like 1 million views on my original YouTube channel that I don't upload to anymore, right? But that was years of hard work and consistency that led to then that moment of explosive growth or moments of explosive growth, right? But you're still gonna grow regardless. That's just a really cool benefit of it. And again, it's free. The last one in this category is you're growing your brand and your reputation. I wrote social proof. Now this is really the value here is social proof, right? You can't deny, even if we speculate somebody that has a blue check mark and 1 million followers on Instagram, whether we think they're a douchebag, whether we think, oh man, they probably bought their followers, they still have social proof to most people, meaning anything they say is automatically more credible. They might think they're smart or successful. All these things get uploaded into people's minds because of the social proof aspect of it. And this is something you can create with social media. I could be a brand new realtor or business person, but if my social media looks A1, they're gonna assume I'm a lot more successful than maybe I actually am on paper. And I'm not going to recommend that people lie, right? But if I can heighten the perception based on my social media, I'm going to do it because I want to attract customers and then have the right systems in place, have the skills and be able to deliver. Now we're talking. This is how you do business. But I can do that and build myself in a local community or worldwide eventually with social media. And it's so important because the social proof aspect, it decimates objections, it attracts more people, and makes your brand more reputable, right? And there's so many positive things to it, and it can be built again over time, and it's available on social media for free, right? And here's the last one, is agent attraction. Now, if you're part of a company like mine in real estate, real brokerage, you have the revenue share model, right? And when you attract agents, you benefit from it, right? I attract agent B, I'm agent A. Every time they sell a home from the piece that goes to the company, again, if you're not aware what agent attraction is, from that split they give the company gives me some of that revenue. So now they're technically under my real estate networker team, but they're not paying me a split. They only have their original split with their broker, which is great. It incentivizes me to bring good people into the company. Then it incentivizes me to help that person to sell more because then they do better and then I get paid for it. It's a win-win. right? And I put for this first point, minimum effort, maximum gain. I don't like this principle generally speaking, but with social media, right, and having success in real estate and just talking with agents, it's very easy for you to build this. I've added about 100 people over the last 8 to 10 months to Real Brokerage under my network. That makes me about $15,000 a month right now, roughly, right? And that's passive and residual, which is the second point, right? Passive and residual income. You can effectively do what you normally do as an agent and receive stock options, and again, you get paid in the revenue share. You get awards, you get a bunch of stuff and incentives for doing the same thing that you would already be doing. To me, it's a no-brainer because a lot of people in our industry are hustle, 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 hamster wheel, which is great. You need to build your business, but how about 10 years from now, 20 years from now, do you still want to have to sell a home to put food on the table? You need to be, again, diversifying into investments or something like this that builds passive and residual income so that when you step away from active production and active working, you still have a lot of money or at least some money paying you to fund your lifestyle, right? Because everyone wants to eventually retire at some point, and this is a way to do it, but not be penny pinching and have money coming in because of an empire that you built, again, doing what you would normally do. Because that's the third point. You get rewarded for the typical activities. For doing the same thing you would normally do, you get rewarded, right? So if you're mastering the traditional stuff, if you're mastering the social media aspect of it, the marketing side, and agent attraction, this is the recipe for success. You'll keep building your active income. You're going to be building a brand that eventually starts attracting a ton of business too, on top of you hustling with the traditional stuff. And lastly, agent attraction. What if you only bring on 10, 20, 30, 40 agents over the next couple of years? Or what if that makes you $5,000 or $10,000 a month, right? My expenses aren't high, and that's just money that's coming in that's passive and residual. I don't have to work for it anymore. And by the way, $5,000 and $10,000 a month is very, we can say, conservative. You can do a lot more if you put in a little bit of effort, just like you do with building your business, right? Spend an hour or two a week on agent attraction, and over a couple of years, you can build an empire, okay? So these are just some of the three main categories I wanted to cover with you guys because this, to me, is kind of cracking the code of real estate success in the future because we've added so many more layers to the game where maybe originally it was only this first point, but now over the last 10 years, we've ushered in point 2 and 3, which is the social aspect and the agent attraction. And to me, if you're not taking advantage of social media and agent attraction, you're really just falling asleep by the wayside because these things are going to explode, kind of like Bitcoin did over the last 10 years as well. So that's it for this one, guys. If you need any additional support, as an example, you want to talk to me about coming to a company like Real and getting in on agent attraction, set up a strategy call, reach out to me. All the links are below. If you would like some coaching and training from me and you want to see the scope of what we offer, you also have a link below as well at bryancassellacoaching.com. Or again, setting up a strategy session so we can chat more. All right, that's it for this one. See you guys on the next episode. Peace.